Mr. Brown, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you, Mr. Lipinski. I'm delighted to be here today. It's an honor. Frankly, let me start.
Could you pull your mic just a little closer, please?
I will.
Thank you.
So I said some thank yous and that it was an honor. And I'd like to start by saying I really think we're talking about the right things. I'm a small manufacturer in Ohio, and this subject matter resonates with me perfectly, and I find that very encouraging. So the company that I'm representing here primarily today is called Hartzell Propeller. It has a storied history. It was founded to furnish propellers to the Wright brothers. Our first recorded sale is 1917. We're approaching 100 years of manufacturing in Piqua, Ohio. We have high-tech jobs, engineers and machinists who bring home $75,000 a year in income, own Harleys, have fishing camps, live pretty well. We are a global leader, and our business in the last 5 years has really had to reposition as a global exporter. Sales retracted tremendously during the recession, North American sales, and we have filled that in with sales to foreign countries. We have about the same revenues today that we had at the peak, but our export sales have gone from 30% to 50% of total revenue. And that means that we are competing in a much more complex environment than what we've been accustomed to over almost a century of business. Why is it complex? Because we have to go make markets for ourselves in over 30 different countries. We have to engage with customers there. We have to engage with civil authorities there. We have to develop product support systems and propeller shops there. Much more complicated. In a little company in Ohio with 300 people, we have 2 native Chinese speakers on our payroll to help us make a market and to help us engage with the civil aviation authorities. We travel to about 30 countries a year and export to all of them. And significantly, in order to make those exports, we need foreign validations. Since 2007, we've gotten approximately 300 foreign validations, 150 in the last 2 years. So we are fully invested in growing our sales internationally. We're all in. I would like to just say I'm a big proponent of XM financing for our customers. We don't engage it directly, but I have these validations because I'm following my customers to market, and my customers appreciate XM. It levels the playing field, and it creates great jobs in the States. I'd like to turn quickly to the fact that in order to get to market, whether it be in the United States or in a foreign country, we must get some form of certification. In the United States, we get a type certificate, just like an airframer or an engine manufacturer. And then to sell internationally, that type certificate needs to be validated. So we are engaged regularly with the FAA and civil authorities across the world, and we have an ODA to do that. I think the ODA subject was very interesting today, particularly from the first panel. I think ours is about 7 years old. We were asked to adopt the ODA system, and we traded one delegation system for another. And after 7 years, I think the main point for me is that we have about the same level of service, which was good to begin with, but it costs us more to get the job done. ODAs are more expensive. So if you don't get better efficiency, it's a net loss to the business. And I think that we can make ODAs more efficient. And in Q&A, I hope I will have a chance to opine on that some more. Let me talk also about foreign validations. It takes an enormous amount of time to have a foreign country tell us that the FAA did a good job. We have put 300 validations requests in. We have gotten 300 affirmatives. FAA's batting 1,000 with their type certificates. But it takes us on average 21 weeks to receive that validation letter. Now, our design cycles are often 8 to 9 months. So think about a 5-month additional delay to follow a customer into a foreign market. It's very significant. And some of the longest validation processes come from bilateral countries. So I think this is a wonderful opportunity. I would appreciate your help. Let me just finish with the avgas initiative. I make propellers. We put a lot of them on piston aircraft. This Congress, this committee, and the FAA have been super in driving a transition process for an ab fuel that does not use lead. We have lots to do, but we are making great progress, and in Q&A, it's my hope that I could encourage us to stay on point. It's critical to the light end of general aviation. Thank you.